think actually that's a great question. I weirdly feel like because I also hear what you're hearing. I also hear that as well when I listen to the album. I'm like, yeah, why does this feel like slightly different for some reason? And I actually think that it's like the perfect mix of us and John Congleton, who produced it. Like we both had the same vision and we both knew where we needed to go. So I feel like it was like us having context of our songs and our like career thus far, plus John, who produced it, him having context of our career and what we need to achieve. I feel like, you know, it is like not just the band, it's the producer. It's such a big part of it. They're basically a fourth member. So I feel like John, in a weird way, like every sound and every drum sound and guitar sound, I just felt like even he knew what he wanted more than ever. You know what I mean? Because we don't have control all the time of like how things sound technically. Like we do, but we also don't. You know, we can say what we want or say what we want to change, but he's the one who like really makes it happen. So I feel like it's like a mixture of just our songwriting and where we wanted to go, plus our producer knew how we should sound as well, or something. Like, I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I just thought of that.
I've always, in recent years, really wanted to make sure that I'm writing from a very, like, as honest of a place as possible. And I think that happened a lot on this record. Like, I sort of, for me, like, I wrote almost all my lyrics, like, very last minute, up to, like, right when I had to sing them. And I think that naturally they just came from a very just instinctual, not overthought, honest place. But I do think there's definitely some songs that I think are, like you said, like hypothetical or sort of are a bit more for like songwriting purposes. There's a few of those. Like I'd say like A Warning is one of those. But I think that yeah, like everything though is like for the most part very, very just like from a very real, honest place, from very real experiences. And yeah, She's an Actress is an interesting one because it's sort of a deceiving title because there's not a person I'm singing about that's an actress. You know, it's just like it's a line in the song that caught on and is a title that we liked a lot. But I think like I'm sort of referencing the world around me and She's an Actress until I get to the back half when I meet someone and it's about this specific person. And I'm very proud of that one lyrically. Like I think that song in particular is interesting because when we were making it, I was like, well, the label is not gonna like this one. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to fight for this one to have a spot on the album, like whatever, because there's not one line repeated one time. There's no chorus. I never come back to the same line ever. And I'm like, this is just like a mouthful, like just words. I'm like, I don't know if anyone's gonna like it. And then all of a sudden it becomes like label and band and John, everyone's like, we love this song. And I was like, oh, cool. So, that was definitely like one that I'm most proud of lyrically on this album, for sure.
It's our third album, and of any of our albums, we've never really brought in a creative director to help us with all this, like, you know, all of the aesthetic stuff. But Aiden Zamiri is who, like, Braden found his Instagram because he had done some other album covers that we liked, and we reached out to him, and he was down. And like we sent him the record and he basically just put together like a PDF of all these different ideas. And then through various Zoom conversations and meetings and stuff, we sort of narrowed it down to the sort of setups that we liked the most, and went with this sort of constructed space model of a thing sort of theme for all the aesthetics. And I think that at the time, we hadn't like necessarily thought too far ahead about what the videos would be or like what the tour was going to look like or any of that stuff. But I think ultimately working with Aiden definitely informed like everything that was to happen for sure. So yeah, it's a really important piece of the whole process here. And I think like what you were saying earlier about this all feeling a little bit different than from the past, I think that sort of the visual cohesiveness is like coming through more than ever too, which I think sort of adds to that feeling of that something is like kind of like different or something's a little more realized this time around. I mean, I think that kind of yes. I feel like Instagram, it's obviously like social media or whatever, but I think that for like creative people, it is a way to like display your work. Like
Yes.
whenever we get sent like music video directors or anything like that, there's always a link to that person's handle. Like I would say that I would check a person's Instagram feed or like their page before I went on like their website or something, for example. I'm so used to the formatting, and I'm so used to like just like I can navigate Instagram so fast, like I'm sure we all can. So I think it's kind of like the great equalizer of formatting, and then people just post their work. And I do think like, you know, we're open to working with anybody, and if we're inspired, like we see something we like, that's great. But I do like that you can sort of get an idea of somebody's taste also, like based on the things that they follow, or like the mutual friends that you have. You can kind of get a sense for like somebody's like, I mean, you don't know a person until you know them, obviously, but there is like a creative sense of like, oh, we're going to gel with this person or not by taking a peek at their Instagram. So yeah, I think we use it for that reason for sure. I mean, I definitely think that TikTok is like the modern day, like what radio maybe was in a way, like the peak of like alternative radio in the US. Like those were the songs I was listening to at that time. And then nowadays, like the songs that are like in rotation on radio or in like all the viral playlists are the songs that are viral on TikTok. There's like a direct correlation there. So yeah, it's a great tool for artists. Like on one hand, you know, like we had success with Are You Bored Yet? Maybe because our song said stay at home, like maybe because it sounds nostalgic. I don't know. Who knows why people decided to connect with our song on TikTok, but then like there were trends and it like made the song, it's like pretty much the reason that the song became so popular. But then on the other hand, yeah, it's like it is kind of like no one knows the secrets, I think. Like if there was a record label who knew the secret to blowing up your song on TikTok, they would be the most successful record label and everyone would want to work with them, you know? So it all just becomes kind of a guessing game and a crapshoot now on the internet. Like I think it's like definitely like the most wild, wild west the music industry has ever been, because like truly anything can happen. So yeah, it is unfortunate that right now for us, we can't utilize the platform. But I also think that issue will get resolved at some point and hopefully result in artists getting paid more money or something. Something will change about the way that they, because their platform is music-based and they're not paying people. So like change is good, but yeah, I am excited for the day that we get to just freely use our music on there again, because it made a huge difference for our careers.
Yeah.
We are very much so planning to come back to Brazil.
Oh yeah.
Album. It wouldn't feel complete if we didn't.